Hello and welcome to the Petite Plot. I'm Sally. I live with my husband and my dog Heidi, and we're just north of the Cotswolds. You'll find me pottering in the garden, decorating inside, or just doing creative things. This is a new build house, and it's been challenging in ways you wouldn't necessarily think. I grew up in, firstly, a council house. Then secondary to that, we moved to a Victorian house. And that was great. Loved it. Loved all of the character that you get in a Victorian house. And I don't know, it just felt like it had a life. A new build though, totally different. There isn't any life really. You make the life. You put character into it if character is what you want. So when you buy a new build, you buy a complete blank canvas and you start from scratch. That's the garden and the house, both of them complete blank canvas. And I'm 5-6 years in now, I think. And obviously I haven't done it alone. I've got my husband with me too. My dog's not much help, but she tries. She tries to dig things if you let her. But yeah, so we're getting there slowly, but we're now at the point where, because a lot of what we did was during COVID, actually we don't like what we did during COVID. The paint colours that were available were few and far between. As you can see, this green that I'm trying to cover here in my office. Well, we thought it was a good choice at the time, but there wasn't much to choose from, so we just got what we could. So now this room is having a makeover, and once I've decided I'm going to do something like this, I just get right into it. So I chose a paint colour. Next thing I need to do is choose some wallpaper. We'll come back to that shortly. Let's meet Heidi. There she is. Heidi is 8, soon to be 9. And she was diagnosed with Mitral Valve Disease in August last year. Now, they tell you that you've probably got about a year with her, which is hard to hear. However, I want to make that year the best that she can live anyway, so it's hard, but we'll probably come to more of that as we go along. We have an area out the front, being a new build, where there's just mud, grass, some trees that keep dying. So I'm going to try and put some wildflowers in there. So I bought this little box. I think I got it from like B&M or one of the pound shops. Right, here we are. We're getting into the gardening now. As soon as there's just a slightly nice day weather-wise, you just think, that's it, I've got to get out there. Obviously, work aside. Make it out, but we stuck it out. Today's our day. Today's our day. Getting the essential gloves on. Looking for my tools for the day. Getting rid of a little cobweb there. And off we go to the front garden. I'll give you a better tour of everything. But for now, this is just me getting out there while The weather's nice-ish in between the rain that we've constantly had this year. I believe this is an aster. I bought it a long time ago and honestly totally neglected it. It lives no matter what you do to it. And this metal bed here, it wasn't there from the beginning. I tried doing a wildflower patch in the middle of the lawn, and that was great, loved it. However, it looked a bit untidy. So what I decided to do is buy this metal bed, or in fact I had it bought for me for a birthday present. And I put that in and filled it up with the old grass that I dug out, a little bit of compost, and put lots of flowers in. And to be honest, I can't even remember what most of them are. So I'm waiting to see what comes up this year to surprise me.
But it's feeling right. Just take a chance, we got a wild ride. Wait and see, you and me, we were meant to be.
In this bed last year, I had a small frame and grew some sweet peas up there. And these sweet peas smell amazing. I think they're the variety Odorata. But I've had them a few years and I just keep the seeds and keep planting them, and they're just doing great. Year on year, they just keep coming back stronger. You can see in the corner there, I've got a small pond with a solar fountain. We put the pond in, it must be 3 years ago now. This garden started off with where the fence is behind me there. We had yew trees planted. I say trees, they were obviously small, supposed to grow up into a nice hedge, but that didn't happen. The soil is just clay, basically, and everything just kept drowning in the clay. And I think that's because of the machinery compacting the ground and causing it to become too waterlogged. Nothing could breathe. But over time, things are living now. They're starting to grow. And that's what happens with a new build. It takes a long time to get everything to where you need it to be. The pond isn't for fish, it's literally just for wildlife. That's all I wanted it for. I didn't want to be a caretaker of anything in that respect. I just wanted nature to get on with it. You're probably wondering why I'm snipping away so much at everything I'm pulling out and putting into the bucket. This is all because I use a hot bin, and anyone that composts knows, especially with a hot bin, that you just have to chop it up tiny as you can. The more time you spend on chopping it all up, the quicker it will compost down. And the quicker you'll have compost you can put on your garden. Now, normally I would remove my crocosmia debris, probably late in the year, early winter, but weather's just been terrible. I didn't get out, and so I'm doing it now. I just kind of thought if I've left it over winter, then if there are any bugs in there, I'm just going to let them get on with it. But on this rare dry day, it was time to pick it all out. There's so much of it. It thrives here. It really does thrive. I think it must love clay. But I do like crocosmia. It's a beautiful bright red one. And there I'm just trying to pull out some of the dead reeds and trim up the pond plants, which again, I'll show you that in more detail when it comes time to really investigate the pond. We did have newts in there last year, which we didn't realise we would have, but we found two newts. And as I said, that's a solar pump, so I do have a little solar panel just off screen. And it works fine. Sometimes it is in full flow when the sun beats down on it, but then when the sun isn't out, it might just spurt a little bit here and there as it gets some energy. This rose is an amazing colour. I think I've had it there, this must be 3rd year now. So it's not grown hugely. It is a climbing rose, but it's not really climbing to its maximum ability. I'm just pruning up another rose there. And that rose came to me from my mum. It was in a pot. Quite a nice petite little pot, similar to one of the blue ones on screen over there by the front door, but I knew it needed some more sustenance in its life, so I put it in the ground, and because it's clay, obviously very fertile ground, and it thrived. It just shoots up every single year. Again, beautiful red roses. And you can just see in right next to the camera, that's a fig, which is currently in a pot. Again, you'll get to see that a bit more later. Nice white heather there, which the bees really love at this time of year. I'm also picking up more crocosmia there, which I had lining a little pathway between where I currently am and the left-hand side, which is the drive. But it takes over. I just keep pulling it out and it just comes back and it's like, yeah, that's fine, I'll come back. I've totally forgotten what this plant is. I know how it looks, but I can't remember its name. It comes back every year. Again, I normally would have chopped this down before winter. I'm very dedicated to chopping everything up to go in the hot bin. It's the only way to do it. The front garden is south facing, so the back garden now will have just a small amount of sun towards the very back, and it's a short garden, it's not a huge garden, it's a new build after all. And so the front, whatever you put there, needs to be very sun loving because it bakes. It totally bakes during the summertime. You can see I've got a wisteria climbing up, going over the window and over the porch. And this is the plant I was just trimming down. It's growing, it's got growth coming back as it does every year, but what it is, I can't remember. And those pumpkins have been there since October. And they're still firm. And this is my little display outside my front door. Back to the centre bed in the front garden. I'm trying to show you a bug here that's living in a leaf. I don't know what that is, but I couldn't quite get it to focus. And I've just realised those are anemones that I planted. I didn't know what they were, and I've just Google lensed it. Oh, and this is my pear tree, which I chopped down severely because the wind was blowing it over, and the branches, after they'd had very full pears on them, just totally flopped down to the ground. So I chopped it down and I thought I need to make it into a proper tree shape. So let's hope that survives this year and it's okay after its severe chop. Time for a tea break with the faithful pup. Here's bottom of the garden. Compost zone. I really enjoy making compost. So this is the hot bin. It's hot bin mini, so it's not a huge one, but it does pretty much the entire garden, plus all of our scraps. And I also keep in those two little bags there, twigs and things, because you need to put those in with the hot bin stuff. Just to keep it aerated really. And then the reason why I've got two bins here is this one is the finished stuff ready for me to use, and the other bin is where I put everything out of the hot bin. So I kind of have a 3-bin process going on. And we'll look at the back garden in more detail very soon. But let me just show you this watercress. Very excited about the watercress. It's growing really well. It did freeze a little bit, but it's fine.
There were days where we thought we wouldn't make it out, but we stuck.
As much as we're all moaning about the rain, it makes everything lovely and green. So we can't really complain.
There were nights we would fight, no wind inside, nothing was right. Tonight's our night. Tonight's our night. I'll fight for you until this life is over. There's no giving up here, babe. We'll make it out and fall in love tonight. Ain't nothing needed but us feeling right. Just take a chance, we got a wild ride. Wait and see, you and me, we were meant to be. We were meant to be. We were meant to be. There were times when we found.
And I just had to make pancakes. They are my favourite thing. I'm gluten-free, so this recipe is probably one of the best. And people that I serve it to, they have no idea it's gluten-free, which is brilliant.
There's no giving up here, babe. We'll make it out and fall in love tonight. Ain't nothing needed but us feeling right. Just take a chance, we got a wild ride. Wait and see, you and me, we were meant to be. We were meant to be. We were meant to be.
It's night time, but this is the office with the walls painted, ready for me to wallpaper that wall. Now, I've put some samples up, and I do love the one with the clocks and the weird little creatures playing instruments, little birds, which go well with the William Morris pictures I've got up. But I really want a mural. I have sent off for some samples. However, it turns out they're coming from China, so it doesn't really fill me with much hope. I'll wait for those to arrive. They're only A4 sheets. How can you possibly get an idea of a mural from an A4 sheet? I don't know. But I just want to see the quality of the paper. I like to paste the wall rather than the paper. I find that a lot easier. I'm sure most people find that a lot easier. So I'm going to look at the mural samples I've sent off for, and I will show them to you when I get them. But they're coming from China, so God knows when they're arriving. Thanks for watching the first ever episode of the Petite Plot. If you've enjoyed watching, I'd love you to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.